Hey guys, it's Chris at Highline Guitars. You're watching another one of my YouTube guitar building videos. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope that by the end of this video, I'll have earned your subscription. What I'm going to do in this video is I am going to pose you, the viewer, a question. I've done this before. I think it's a great way to make the comments section a useful teaching tool because we can all chime in and comment our thoughts on the subject, and that gives folks the ability to see different perspectives and maybe come up with different ideas and different approaches to whatever work they're going to be doing, either building or repairing guitars. And that leads me to today's question. What I'm interested in knowing is, do you view the process and techniques that we use for building guitars differently than similar processes and techniques that we use for repairing guitars? Now, the reason I bring this up is because I get a number of questions about some of the processes and techniques I use that are really geared more towards somebody who needs to repair an existing or vintage instrument rather than building a new guitar. My focus is building new guitars, and I view those techniques and processes a little bit differently than when you repair them. For example, I had a viewer the other day who criticized me for not simulating string tension when I level my frets. And my response to that question was, I build guitars, I don't repair them. There's a big difference. And that's all I said because it was going to take a long time for me to try to explain those differences. And I think that this video might serve that purpose better. So why don't I simulate string tension? I'm building a new guitar. I don't need to simulate string tension. I have the ability to select carefully the wood that I'm going to use when I make a guitar. And I know from experience that the wood that you select is going to determine how that neck will perform over the long haul for many, many years to come. Ideally, you want to use quarter sawn wood, straight grain wood with no figure. That doesn't always happen, and that's not always the case, but I can also route the neck with channels so that I can install carbon fiber reinforcement strips, and that will prevent the neck from moving in unpredictable ways. I've also learned over the years that when you level the frets with the neck and fretboard perfectly straight and level, you have plenty of room for adjustability when it comes to adding a little bit of bow for relief near that, 8th, 9th, 10th fret. So I don't need to simulate string tension. However, if I was repairing a guitar, which I don't do, that's not my focus, but if I was repairing guitars, what I would do is I would check the condition of the fretboard, how straight and level it is. Is there any issues with hills and valleys along its length? In that case, simulating string tension could potentially be beneficial. However, I still argue the value of simulating string tension when refretting a neck and doing the leveling work. I think if it was something that was critically important, we would see a lot more string tension simulating jigs on the market. At this point, we don't. In fact, I can only think of one string tension simulating jig that's out there, and that's the one that's sold by StewMac. And the reason why I'm kind of put off by simulating string tension is because I used to own one of those jigs, and I found that it was more of a pita to use than just simply keeping the neck perfectly straight when I level the frets. So, but I do see that there could be the potential for simulating string tension on a vintage instrument which might have issues with a neck that is has moved in an unpredictable way. But I'm not going to get into that because that's not where my focus is. I focus on building guitars, not repairing them. Another question that often comes up is finish repairs. I've done a lot of videos on applying finishes, but I rarely have talked about repairing finishes because I'm not repairing them. I apply the finishes on a brand new guitar. And typically I follow a process where I will fully assemble the guitar, then disassemble it before I apply my finishes. And the reason I do it that way is because it reduces the likelihood of scratching, dinging, or damaging the finish during the assembly process. And that's when I would have to do repair work. So by doing my finish application almost as a last step in building the guitar, I can avoid that potential. So I rarely find myself in a situation where I have to repair a finish. And I've developed the skills over the years to be able to level sand clear coats without sanding through. So I don't have to repair damage caused by sand through. So all of the work that I do and the work that I talk about in my videos is geared towards making a brand new guitar, not repairing an existing or vintage instrument. But I'd like to get your feedback on this topic. Do you separate those two processes? Repair work on one side and building brand new guitars on the other. I know that if you were to contact some of the big guitar manufacturers, you would find out that they have separated it themselves. They have departments that specialize in just repair work, and then the rest of the company is focused on building brand new instruments. So you can kind of see how that carries itself through the entire guitar building industry. And that is true with the small shop luthier, such as myself. So chime in down in the comments section below. Let me know your thoughts on this, and maybe we can all learn something from that. And as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, again, welcome. I hope I've earned your subscription. And if you'd like to help support the channel with a little bit of financial incentive, check out the t-shirts and guitar plans and tools, the plans for building tools that we use for making guitars down in my merch shelf down below, or you can head over to eguitarplans.com and purchase a plan there. At any rate, whatever you spend helps to support this channel. So until the next episode, take care, stay safe, and I hope I'll see you back for the next episode.